Hello, this is Cat's Diamond Painting. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've joined me here before. I'm here today to do my quarterly review for diamond paintings I have completed between October and December of 2024, and also a look at my ongoing WIPS as I head into 2025. If you're new to my channel, I just want to explain why I'm only doing a quarterly review, because this is the time of year most people are putting up their annual review and showing everything they completed in 2024. And yeah, I just like to do things a little bit differently. I started diamond painting in April of 2021. So I do my annual review every year from then. So I'll do my annual review in April, and this is just a quarterly review. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it this way. So I have had a reasonably productive quarter, I would say, for diamond painting, by my standards at least. Obviously not that productive, or I wouldn't, I'd be doing these videos monthly rather than quarterly. I've got a few finishes. I really got into smaller projects this year, so that has helped to increase the number of finishes, but they are smaller. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just take you through what I have finished, and then I will come back with my WIPs after that. This one you can see on top here. This is just a very, very mini project that I got from Diamond Art Club's advent calendar, and I just fancied doing that so I could have it as a decoration for Christmas. It only took probably like 20 minutes, and I just sealed it with some min wax polyacrylic, because that's what I have in for sealing, so that it wouldn't collect lots of dust in the exposed sticky bits. And yeah, he is really cute. Okay, I'll take this off in a moment. There is a reason for this. This is where I have been storing my mini Dazzles. But for some reason, my camera likes to do this weird thing. If there's nothing for it to focus on, and I'm just showing you the white backs of canvases, it does this weird swoopy thing. So I'm just trying to avoid that. So before I go any further, I just want to explain that the first finish that I had this quarter is a mystery kit, and it's from Diamond Art Studio. It is their 12 Days of Spookmas, which is one of their Chart to Art kits that they brought out for Halloween this year. So the next one that I'm going to show you is a mystery, and if you have that in your stash and you haven't completed it yet, please bear that in mind. I'm going to show it now rather than at the end, because I kind of like to do these things in order. But what I will do is put a timestamp up on screen now to tell you when you can safely come back if you don't want to see what this looks like. Okay, right, I'm moving this aside and I'm going to turn this over. So this is your warning now. Bye-bye. See you in a bit. If you want to preserve the mystery of this one. And now I'm moving on. So this is the 12 Days of Spookmas. And I had so much fun with this one. It wasn't planned as my Halloween kit. It was quite an impulse purchase, and I was already working on a different one for Halloween, which is underneath, because I finished that afterwards. But when it came out, I really, really fancied it. I'm going to try not to dwell on things too long in this video, because I did have a post review of this one specifically, and I don't want this video to get too long. But just to briefly explain, Diamond Art Studio have got this really innovative thing that they call Chart to Art. And it's sort of like, it's a little bit like cross-stitch conversion, except they've been conceived of as diamond paintings. And yeah, how to explain it? So basically, this, when it came, was a pretty blank canvas. It had symbols on the border bits, but they were in black and white. There weren't any colours. So a bit like a sort of traditional mystery kit. And then these windows were just completely blank. It was just a grid with no symbols. And the kit came with 12 little envelopes which contained the charts, or you could get them online and do them on an app, which is what I did. I used Markup. And then that tells you how to fill in the windows. So yeah, it's like, it is like a cross-stitch conversion, but it's easier because it's actually been conceived of initially as a diamond painting, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was 12 little images. You could do them in any order you liked. The border was a little repetitive, but actually not as bad as I thought. At the start, I thought I was going to find the border quite boring, and I kind of got into it, and it was a nice little break. Those were the easy bits I didn't have to think about that much. And then the windows were just like a fun pop of needing to concentrate, but really, really fun. I found it easier than I thought I would. They started doing these last year with one for Christmas, and I didn't do that because I honestly just didn't think it would appeal to me. I'd never wanted to do a cross-stitch conversion before, and I didn't see the appeal. But then when people did them and they looked so much fun, I did feel sorry I hadn't done it. So I think that's why I impulse bought this one, but I really enjoyed it. I will definitely do more. There's another one that they have released already that I would like to pick up at some point, and I'm excited to see what other ones they bring out. This one, as I think I already said, you could place them wherever you wanted. So a lot of people would have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. This was envelope 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as they came, and I just worked bottom to top because that's how it's easier on my easel. Some of the ones they've released now are a solid picture, so you can't switch them around interchangeably in the same way. But yeah, they all come with their own instructions. So it was a lot of fun. It had a lot of ABs. What was it? 7 ABs, which really sets it off nicely. And I just think they're absolutely adorable, and just it's really fun how much detail they've been able to chart in these small little windows. These were all designed in-house by the Diamond Art Studio team. Yeah, and they're really good at it. I think I was saying last time I can't decide what my favourite one is. The zombie hand does draw me in, you know. I'm not sure I said that one last time, but I do really like that one. So yeah, that was my first finish of the quarter, and also my first of what turned out to be 2 Halloween kits. And next up I had To Grandmother's House We Go, which is by Margarita Yermolaeva. And this is a Diamond Art Club canvas. So this is the one that I originally picked out to be my Halloween kit for the year, not thinking I would do more than one. So I started this, I think, some point in September. Then I got sidetracked when the Diamond Art Studio one came out. And then I came back to this and finished it, I guess probably some point in November, because the Diamond Art Studio one took me a lot of October. So it's not that big. It's only 51 by 66 centimetres, which was a part of the reason why I chose to do it this year. But also I really love this image. I'd had it in my stash for a long time. I think I maybe got this for Black Friday 2022. So I had it for ages, and I really loved this one. It's cats. It's got cats. You can't go wrong with cats. That's the thing. And I do enjoy paintings with like a reflection and then how that gets charted. So I love, you know, the witch standing there on the, what's the word? On the grass or whatever it is. I mean, it's all red, so it's hard to say, but that's just the colour palette, isn't it? And then you see it all reflected in the water, and they're walking along. It's just lovely. I really, really like it. I have to say, when I was working on it, it wasn't my favourite ever to work on, purely I think because of sameness of colours. Also, I did the thing that I always do, which is that I'm just really bad at judging whether things are going to be full of confetti or full of colour blocking. And I looked at this and I thought it was going to be quite blocky. And it kind of was compared to a lot of paintings, but somehow I just didn't seem to get through any of it that quickly. I don't know why. So yeah, it did take me longer than I expected. I think probably it wasn't so much that I underestimated confetti as I loved the piece that was emerging, but it just wasn't the most fun to work on because, as I said, there was a lot of brown. And then the other bright colours that I love are really fun, but they did get a little bit samey. So yeah, it was... I'm happy I have it done. I think it looks fabulous. It wasn't my most fun diamond painting I've ever worked on, but I got it finished. And that's actually the biggest finish I've got for the whole quarter, which is quite disappointing. You'll see when I get to showing you my WIPS that there is a large painting that I've done about half of, and that's taken like probably a solid month of the quarter. So it explains why I don't have a huge amount else to show you. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Next year, maybe I'm going to tackle one of my bigger Halloween kits that I have, because I've got some ones I really enjoy, like Bottled Halloween or The Haunted House by Donna Gelsinger, but we'll see. The problem with seasonal kits is I have quite a few of them. I don't want to work on more than 1 or 2 in that season, and then every year new lovely pretty ones come out. So yeah, might need to learn some self-control there. Anyway, moving on. So I finished this at some point in November, and then I was ready to start working on Christmas kits. So to kick off my Christmas kits, I started with this ultra mini snack size kit. So this is, as you can see, Diamond Art Studio have made this kit. Oh, it's got some cat fur on it. Everything in this house gets cat fur on it, unfortunately, because Xander is a real shedder. He's a British short hair. If you've ever seen him on my videos before, he's a bit like a teddy bear in cat form, but he likes to just like emit fur in all directions. Anyway, yes, so it was made by Diamond Art Studio, but I actually got this in the Add More Zest advent calendar that I purchased in 2023, which was fun. I didn't get it again this year because I felt like I'd done that now. I wanted to do different advent calendars, but this was in there, and I was intrigued by just such a small compact painting. And again, like the 12 Days of Spookmas images, this is one that the Diamond Art Studio team have just come up with themselves. And you can see from the sort of schematic here, as much as the actual picture, that there's a lot of detail worked into this. It's really clever what they've packed into such a small size. This is 15 by 15, so it's probably the smallest actual diamond painting I've ever done. Obviously I've done project-y, you know, mini kit project type things that have been smaller. But yeah, I wanted to see how it turned out, and it was really fun. 37 colours in a kit this size is no joke. I actually worked out of the heat sealed bags because I did not want to kit up for something that I knew was only going to take me a couple of days. And it did. I think it took me just a couple of days, but it was quite confetti filled. It wasn't the quickest moving. It's got quite a few ABs. Oh, actually only 4, not as many as I remembered. And yeah, a lot of colour changing, like the tree. I mean, Christmas trees are always quite confetti filled, aren't they? But even in other areas too, a lot of cases of just, you know, a few of this drill, a few of that drill. But I think it turned out really well for such a small kit, and I really enjoyed just kicking off my Christmas diamond painting season with something that I could just get completed really quickly. The next thing I did after that was revisit my mini Dazzles. So I think I showed you in my last quarterly review that I had done one of the Animal Kingdom ones, which was this little penguin, or pignon, as we call them in this house, because that's what my son used to call them when he was learning to talk. And then I came back and finished the rest of the set, and I put up a video just before Christmas showing you how I'd bought quite a few mini Dazzles and paint gems, because this was the point where I really got into small projects because I really enjoyed these. I didn't get into it immediately with the penguin, but once I came back to them, I loved it and did them all in a couple of days. So there's the dolphins, there's the elephant, butterflies or flutterbys. Like my son's 11. I don't know why the words that he used to say are still so high in my memory. The peacock, that one was quite detailed. You can see there's a lot going on in the feathers of the tail, which is really cool. And this one, which I think they called the majestic horse, and it is rather majestic, isn't it, with all that mane and tail. So there you are. And then because I'm going in order of finishes, I think after these, the next thing I did is I worked on Christmas Cabin by Donna Gelsinger, which is the big one I mentioned before. And I did a huge chunk of that. But the next thing that I actually finished was when I took a break from that and came back and did another set of mini Dazzles. So this next section, I was going to say spoilers, but actually this was from Diamond Art Club's 2024 advent calendar, and I'm going to guess everyone's opened it by now. But yeah, just in case, that's what I'm going to show you next, is a set of mini Dazzles that came with that. So these are Christmas mini Dazzles. They did actually release some Christmas mini Dazzles outside of the advent calendar as well, but I have to say I personally preferred the set that came with the advent calendar. I think these are gorgeous. A lot of them had these quad drills as well, which are just so much fun. I love a special different drill, and quad drills in particular. I've only ever had them a couple of times, but what I like to do is do all of the surrounding bits. Oh, that one needs pressing down a bit. And then I push them back in when there's just a tight space for them, and they push in with this lovely sort of crunching sound. I don't know, makes me happy. And then there is a candy cane. Again, some quadrilles. Then there is a lovely, beautiful wrapped present. Spot the quadrille. The fireplace. This one's probably maybe my least favourite out of the set, just because I think it's a little busy for the space. Maybe if it had been a little more simple, it could have been more effective. But what do I know? I wouldn't have a clue how to render images like this. And I still think it looks very cool. And then there's two more. So there's Rudolph. And then there is a little elf. So they were really fun. So as you can see, I have really had a lot of fun with mini Dazzles this quarter. And then I think I probably went back to the Donna Gelsinger Christmas cabin for a little bit, and then I decided to have another little break and do another project from Diamond Art Club's Advent Calendar for 2024. So this again was in the Advent Calendar, but I'm going to assume everyone already knows what's in there. So without further ado, this is one of the 2 small diamond painting kits that they had in there. And it is in fact another Donna Gelsinger. This is Happy Snowman. Let me hold it up so you can see it a bit closer. And it's only 22.8 by 30.8 centimetres, which is lovely. I never really do proper snack size kits like this because you don't get that many from licensed artwork diamond painting shops, and that's where I prefer to buy because generally artwork tends to be more complex and need to be rendered in bigger sizes. And I wouldn't ever want to sacrifice quality of rendering for size anyway, but this one has turned out so beautifully because it is, I guess, quite a simple design. This was the first time in quite a while I had worked on round drills as well. And I have to say, these were fabulous to work with. I had seen some other creators commenting on it. Sorry, there's always hairs, particularly on my round drill paintings. They really seem really scabby, but trust me, try living in this house and not having Xander's cat fur everywhere. Doesn't matter how often you clean. Yeah, so the drills on this fit so well together. I had not been enjoying round drills so much over the last year or so. And I think what's been happening is I've been working on much older kits. Sorry, I had a little bit of a panic there. I saw a warning flash up on my camera I haven't seen before, and basically I'd forgotten to clear down the memory card and it was about to run out of space. But I've checked back and I didn't actually lose any footage. I did catch it in time. So yeah, I had been working on kits with older drills from before Diamond Art Club tightened the grid. Now, I thought that it must have been a recent thing, but actually they said that they tightened the grid quite a long time ago. So kits produced in probably the last year or so have the tighter grid. And I've been missing a trick because I've been missing round drill kits that I liked because I thought, well, yeah, but I do really like it, but it's not like my favourite kit ever. And that's really all I'm going to accept working round drills on at the moment. So yeah. It's opened everything up again because this was so much more enjoyable for me. Because I very rarely single place, I basically multi-place everything. And I don't multi-place, even now, with round drills, as many in one go as I would square drills. And not just because they take up more space on the multiplacer. You know, I could do 12, 14 square drills at a go and maybe 7 at a push with round drills. But that is so much quicker than single placing still. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with single placing if that's what suits you, don't get me wrong. But for me, because I'm used to multi-placing, I find single placing frustrating because it just slows me down so much. So with the old grid, I would be trying to multi-place, but I would be spending so much time straightening it out because I've never been good at doing that kind of roll with the multi-placer to space them out. But yeah, this was so easy to multi-place through, which was good because as you can see, the backing has quite a lot of colour blocking. This scarf was very filled with confetti, but the rest of it worked up super quickly. And it's just such a sweet little Christmas project. I was really going for quantity of Christmas projects this year. Because I had this advent calendar from Diamond Art Club and I hadn't had anything like that before with all the little projects. And I just wanted to do some and have some fun and not worry about targeting myself to complete the full-size kit that I was working on. So that was adorable. Really enjoyed that one. And then the only other thing to show you that's a sort of finish is that last night I finished the January, what's the word I'm looking for? Section, picture for Diamond Art Club's 2025 calendar. I was saying in my plans for 2025 video, I'm going to do this as the year goes. So what I want to do is do one of these each month. So do the month that I'm in, or like just before that month, ideally. So this is January's, and it turned out really fun. I will say, if you think back to what I was just saying about single placing and multi-placing, and this, as you can probably see, is not possible to multi-place because it's the sort of diamond painting where they're not laid out in a grid. It might be even easier to see if I show you an uncompleted one. So yeah, they're not laid out in a grid, they're all random, and they have to be single placed. So as a result of that, this one did take me a surprisingly long time. I will say, if you picked up this calendar thinking of it as a quick project, I mean, individually they are compared to most diamond paintings, don't get me wrong, but it would take you quite a while to do all of them, I would think, unless you're a lot quicker than me, which, to be fair, many people are. But yeah, it took me a while, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, actually. I always like doing something different. So yeah, I finished this off last night after previously doing it in that video that I put up with my plans. So yeah, it's really fun. This is one of my favourites out of the Advent calendar, I think, because I love the snowman and his lovely blue accessories. So yeah, those are all my finishes. Oh, I can't work out which way it's going to close it. Those are all my finishes for October to December of 2024. And what I'm going to do now is just quickly take you through my outstanding WIPs. If you watched my plans for 2025 video, you'll know that a big priority for me in the early part of this year is to clear down some of these WIPs. There's two in particular that I most definitely want to get completed. There's another that I want to make good progress on. And then the Christmas cabin one that I'll probably show you last, as it's my most recent WIP, is one that I think I'm going to do a little bit more on now and then pack away to work on next winter. We shall see. But yeah. Okay, I will be back in a moment with my WIPs. Okay, WIP number one is outside the sweet shop, and oh gosh, I've done less of it than I remembered. Let me see, can I? Yeah, I can pull you out slightly more. So I was explaining in my video the other day, I did hope to get this one done in 2024, and obviously I'm nowhere near. What I was doing earlier in the year was doing a small row, so I do quite small rows on this one because of the confetti. After every sort of finish, or every time I put another project down for a break. And then some point in the summer, for some reason, I stopped doing that. The only thing I can think is it was getting to that point of the year where I was going to be doing seasonal projects, and I was focused on those, and I felt like I didn't really have time because then, you know, those would take me way out of season. And I know none of that matters, but to me a little bit it does. Like, not really, but I like working on things when they're seasonally appropriate. So a big project for this year is going to get this one done. I definitely would love to see this whole thing finished in 2025, considering at one point I thought I might have it done in 2024. I have some other beautiful, very confetti heavy pieces from Diamond Art Studio that I want to get onto, and I'm not going to have more than one of those on the go at this time because I just never get them finished. You know, I do need to limit the number of WIPs for me because I feel like if I have more than 3 or 4, it feels a little overwhelming. So by the time I do my next review, which won't be a quarterly review, it will be my year-end review in April, I would love to have, I don't know, I wonder if I could get another half of what's left done. Possibly, we shall see. I mean, the other thing is, if I'm not in the mood for a high confetti piece, I'm not going to make myself work on it, because that way I'll burn out of the whole project. Whereas until now, I've been taking it really slowly, but when I get it out and do a row, because I'm in the mood for it, I absolutely love it. And then by the end of the row, I do want a break and to go back to something less intensive, because it makes you think a lot more. When the confetti is as intense as it can be on this one, yeah, it makes you think a lot. And it's not just with this one that it's intense confetti, it's also that it's 197 colours. So you're not just, you know, looking around a section for specks of a colour. Like, there really is just possibly only one or two of many, many different colours in each very small section. So yeah, in an ideal world, by April, I would be up to say here-ish. I think we'll see how it goes. But I want to have good progress by April, and then I want to have this one done in 2025, and preferably early on in 2025, so I can kit up another one. Maybe another Hell Choreo, because I have a couple of others by this artist, but then maybe it might be nice to have a change and switch to a different artist that I have a kit from there. Like, I've got Breathe of Night, which is this beautiful tiger, and I've got Luan, which is this little rabbit that I love. I don't know, I can't decide, but they all have at least around 100 colours. Some are max colour kits like this, so I know I'm not likely to start any of those until I've got this bad boy out the way. But yeah, it's looking fabulous. Absolutely love what I've done so far. Can't wait to see more of it done. Moving on. Next up, this is Nightfall by Moony Maid. Well, by the artist Cat Fedora, and it is made and sold as a diamond painting by Moony Maid. I love this piece. I really, really, really love the artist Cat Fedora, and I think this is the first one I saw that drew me in. Since I got this one, Moony Maid has brought it out in squares, which is a little sad because I definitely would have preferred squares. These rounds are the kinds of rounds that a lot of places used to have. Like, I recognise them from my early round diamond painting kits from Diamond Art Club. They have a very smooth top. I think they might be acrylic, but they're good quality drills, but they have this very smooth top, and I don't find them as satisfying to place. I guess I'm quite sensory. I feel like they never grip to whatever putty or wax you've got in as much, because they don't have ridges to adhere to it, so you go through that quicker. And I mean, the multi-placing looks like it's gone okay on this one, but I remember finding it, you know, I couldn't place that many in one go. I worked on this in March, and then I put it away for a little break, and I thought I would come back to it soon, and I haven't worked on it since. But as you can see, I actually only have less than halfway to go, and it's probably the easier section as well. There is going to be a bit of multi-placing, but there's not too much going on. So this one I absolutely definitely want done by April, and I think this is going to be a high priority. Once I have finished properly with all my Christmas kits, it's going to be about getting this one done, and the next one I'm going to show you before I think about starting anything new. Because I'd love to see it done. I do love it. And I love that Moony Maid hand renders, or at least I assume she does, because it's really, really neat and tidy and clear. She must do. There is no computer noise, you know, those random bits of drills that add to confetti and don't necessarily add to the image. And that suits certain images, don't get me wrong, but for an artist style like this that has got quite clearly defined sections and bright colours, it works really, really well to have a clearer rendering. I have The Apprentice by this artist as well, which I plan to do a comparison project on, because I've got two kits from Jaded Gem Shop in two different rendering styles. And I also have another one, which I can't remember what it's called, but that's from Moony Maid in squares, and I love them. I think I want to get this one done, and the only things I'm not keen on about this are to do with the actual process of the rounds and that kind of thing. And then I'm probably going to be, well, I'm definitely going to be cracking on with the ones for the comparison project. But yeah, I foresee many, many Cat Fedora paintings in my diamond painting future. And then I have this mini baby painting, which I'm just going to have to roll back on itself because it's so roly-poly from being in its box. This one I did at some point in the summer as a break from a bigger project that I was getting slightly bored from. bored with, and I thought that I would just quickly whiz through this tiny little 32.8 square centimetre kit. And this one does have older round drills, and I wasn't loving it. They weren't fitting together as nicely as I would have liked. I mean, they fit together fine, but just with my multi-placing style, I mean. Yeah, and I didn't come back to it. But again, this one is getting ticked off by April. That is the plan. Because it's not like I hated it and I'm going to bin it. You know, I love the artwork. I think it's really adorable. It's still a fantastic quality painting. It's just me being fussy, really. So yeah, I'm going to get this one and the Moony Maid finished by April for sure. Significant progress on Sweet Shop. And then here is Christmas Cabin. So this is the one that I started on at some point in November. I've worked on through most of December with little breaks for other smaller projects that I've already shown you. And I would say that this is one of the most stunning paintings I have had for a while. I absolutely love it. It's a bit big to show you properly. I'm probably around about exactly halfway, I would say. Possibly a smidge over. Let me just show you this rendering. It is beautiful. They've done such a stunning job rendering this diamond painting. This came out as part of Diamond Art Club's Christmas releases this year. There was a weekend when they did about 30 new releases for Christmas. And this was the first preview they showed. And I thought, I'm in trouble because I have to have that one. And I don't even know what else is coming out yet. Luckily, I think between that and the sneak peek I had, I was okay. But yeah, it's gorgeous. But as I said, I often underestimate confetti. I thought for a landscape, it's not going to be so bad because, you know, there's a lot of sections around here that are multi-placing, and I've done those now. This tree section, it's got a lot more confetti than I realised. And then looking at this half, I think it's more confetti than the half I've done already. So yeah, it's not the quickest of projects. This is the problem I have. I have a lot of these giant size paintings because this is 92.8 by 69.9. And I have them because I love them, because those kinds of styles of artwork that lend themselves to being done in a really big size, they're my jam. They're the artwork that I totally gravitate towards. But then when it comes to actually picking diamond paintings, I have them sitting there and I look at them lovingly in my stash and God, I love that. I can't wait to work on it one day. But I don't often actually decide to pull out one of the bigger ones to work on, precisely because I know it's going to take me so long. Like, I don't know because I took breaks, but there has to be close to a month's worth of work in the half I've done, and I've still got half to go. So yeah, I was unsure what I was going to do with this one now, because I was telling myself, well, it's Christmassy, but it's also very wintry. You know, you could do this past Christmas. And I think I am going to a little bit, but I think what my current plan is I'm going to put this back on my easel later today, and I'm going to do one more row. So that will take me to probably here-ish. And then I'll know I'm well over halfway. And then I will probably put it away until later in the year. Not necessarily autumn and winter time, because I would like to have this done and on the wall next Christmas. But I'll have a good few months off it until I fancy coming back to it again. Because I want to crack on with the other things that I've said are my priorities. And then once I've done the Moony Maid, and once I've done the little Randall Spangler, and once I've made some more progress on Sweet Shop, I think at that point I would like to start something different. Possibly my comparison project, possibly something else, feeling that Richard Lorenz itch. That sounds like a bad thing, but for me that's a very good thing. What I mean is I love Richard Lorenz kits. And then I was saying in my plans for the year video, there's some kits I've had in my stash for a long time I'd really like to work on. So maybe something like Running the Distance or All Things Become Love. I'm not sure yet. I'm really not sure, because I'm trying not to think about it too much, because I don't want to get too excited about working on something else when I know I've got plans before I get to that point. But I suspect that it's going to be a case of one more row of this, plow through those other ones, and then do something new for a bit. And yeah, we shall see what that will be, because it's probably, you know, a month off or something at the rate I work. But yeah, there we go. That is my quarterly review. So quite a few finishes, if you're happy to count the small finishes. And what is that? 4 ongoing WIPs, but I'm confident it will soon be down to 2, which isn't too bad. I've been better, I've been worse. And by and large, I don't mind having a few WIPs on the go, because for me, first and foremost, it's really important to always remember this is my hobby. I do it for fun. So I'm not going to keep myself working at something that I'm not enjoying. And for me, what that generally means is I'm bored of working on this particular kit right now. I'm going to put it away, and then I know at some point in the future I'm really going to enjoy working on it again. But right now I need a change. So yeah. Did anyone else do this one? I haven't seen it completed yet. And I would love to see it done, because for me, I mean, Diamond Art Club rendering is always amazing, but sometimes they just absolutely knock it out the park. And there was Winter Solstice by Abraham Hunter, which I had for a while, and then I destashed with regret because I loved it, but I thought there's not that many colours. I'm going to find it a bit boring to actually work on. And it remains to this day, having come out quite a long time ago now, I think, for my personal taste, one of the best rendering jobs they have ever done. And for me, this one is really up there as well. I just think it's so stunning. Anyway, I'm going to stop jabbering now. So hopefully you've enjoyed taking a look at all of these with me. I hope you have had a wonderful Christmas and New Year period. I feel like I've said that in a few videos now. This is probably the last, as we're now firmly in January. But yeah, thanks for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like on it. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel and you've liked what I've done here, please consider doing that too. I would love to have you stick around, and I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye bye.